Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Kitty G, and I'm back again with another video. And today we're going to be talking about the loanees, the players that are on loan. We're going to go check out who's on loan, what they're doing, and how they're doing over at their clubs. Every single one of these players that are on loan. We got a bunch of players on loan, and we got to go through all of them right now. So let's get started with none other than Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the man himself. Ainsley Maitland-Niles recently played against Manchester United, plays it against Spurs, and also recently played for Burnley in a game versus he played it for West Bromwich Albion in a draw against Burnley. He played the full game, and you know what? This is a disappointing situation where he's not going to get as much games as where he expected in the midfield. He's been playing more or less out on the wings as a left back or a left wing back or as a fullback in majority of those games. And you'd expect him, since he did go out on loan in order to get more game time, you'd expect him to play in the positions that he wanted to play in. But of course, what are you going to do? Ainsley Maitland-Niles gets more game time in the midfield. Hopefully, we'll see what he can do and develop. But I would have hoped that he would have went to Southampton or Leicester instead. But yeah, that's the choice that he made. He got to play in the midfield. Didn't look that good. Let's go. Next, we have the man himself, Daniel Ballard. He played 90 minutes for Blackpool in a 1-0 win against Portsmouth. And you know what? He's coming along well. I don't know if he's ever going to make it to the first team, and I don't think he'll ever cut the mustard at Arsenal as a center back, but he's been playing well over there at Blackpool, and hopefully he can get more game time under his belt, increase his value, and we can move him on in the long run, right? Now, moving on to the next person that we have on loan, William Saliba out on Nice. William Saliba played the whole game against for Nice in a 2-1 loss, right? Now, William Saliba this is an interesting situation right here with William Saliba. We don't know what's going to happen with William Saliba. Is he going to come back and be third choice, second choice, first choice? Depends. What do you guys think? How do you guys want to do this whole William Saliba experiment? Do you guys want to bring him back in next season, have him straight in the team, taking over from David Luiz, Rob Holding, and coming in second choice? I think it might be too fast for him, but right now he has been playing well over there. Got Player of the Month last month, and you know what? We'll see how he can develop and how he can continue to develop. He's played in a back three and in a back four over there in Nice, so his development is coming along well, and hopefully this can continue. Right now, moving on to Joe Willock. Joe Willock has had an up and down start so far in Newcastle after scoring a goal in one of the previous games, and this game conceding a penalty to Manchester United in a 3-1 loss for Newcastle. We'll see how Joe Willock comes along, but it's not looking that good so far. Newcastle are in a bad run of form. They just lost their main striker, and Joe Willock is in a team that's going to be fighting for relegation. So let's see how Joe Willock can do for the remainder of the season at Newcastle. Hopefully he can push them up and keep them up. And you know what? He comes back, increasing his value, and maybe we can move him on, or he might make it. He might make it at Arsenal. We don't know. We'll find out. You guys tell me in the comment section what you think, if he will ever make it. And you know what? Smash a like on the video while you guys are here. Next, we got the man Mavropanos. Let's talk about Mavropanos. Mavropanos has played a lot of games when you think about it since he was loaned out over there at Stuttgart, and it's not a surprise that he went there when they have Sven Mislintat as one of the guys that are working there with them. So I'm not surprised that he's there. What I'm thinking is does Mavropanos is there a plan to keep Mavropanos at Arsenal, guys? Because this season already in the Bundesliga, he's played 11 games out of 22 games. In this game, in the win, he played 85 minutes, got subbed off. And you know what? He has been a big part of that team this season. So I don't know. He looks good over there in the Bundesliga. If he comes back and it can translate to the Premier League, we'll find out. But as of right now, he just another one of those center backs that we have at the club that we have not figured out if we're going to move, keep, or what we're going to do with them. Stick, twist, we don't know. But we're going to find out sooner than later what we're going to do with all these players once they come back from loan in the summer. Then you got Matteo Guendouzi. Matteo Guendouzi, the man himself, Matteo Guendouzi, this season has added in a couple goals and 1 assist to his game over there in the Bundesliga for Hertha Berlin. Hertha Berlin lost this game 3-0 to Leipzig, and he came on in the 65th minute. And you know what? When he comes on, he has the energy and the tenacity to push the team forward. They created some chances after he came on, but all in all, the team still lost 3-0. And you know what, Matteo Guendouzi, if he comes back and he does offer us something in the midfield, I wouldn't be surprised. I still think there's a good player in there, and I think it would be disappointing if we did sell him without seeing how much he could offer us in the long run, right? Now, we have to talk about all the loanees, even the loanees we don't want to come back. But Said Kolasinac is a loanee of ours that we would not want to come back. And you know what? He did play in a game for Schalke. Schalke was beaten 4-0 by Borussia Dortmund. It was just, man, and he was booked also. So we'll see what happens. Most likely his team will get relegated, but they might keep him at Schalke because they see him as a leader and as a captain and as a figure that knows the club very well. So hopefully Schalke will keep him, even though they might get relegated. Now, moving on to the next player, we got the man like Lucas Torreira. Lucas Torreira was brought on the 61st minute in Atletico Madrid's title challenge. They recently lost to Levante 2-0, which is a shock because these guys are top of the table and you would not expect them to lose to a team like Levante. But of course, Lucas Torreira will most likely be coming back and be sold to Fiorentina in the summer. Now, moving on to the next player. The next player is Harry Clarke. Harry Clarke came onto the scene a while back, and you know what? He just needed to get loaned out to get more game time. So he's at Oldham Athletic, and you know what? They recently drew 2-2 to Tranmere Rovers. He was involved in that game. He played the entire game as a center back, and you know what? We'll see what he can do and how he can develop. But I think this was another one of those young guys who's going to take a little while before he even gets close to breaking through to the Arsenal team. There's just too many people in his place to get through for him to cut into the team. Now, moving on to the next loanee. Joseph Owanla. He played the full game as his team lost 4-1 to Sutton United, right? And you know what? The loanee. Oh man, this is another one of those guys who I don't think is going to make it at the club. But of course, we're just monitoring the loanees. We're not the one developing the talent. We're not the one deciding who makes it, who doesn't. But of course, loaning out all these players is a good thing to increase their price, increase their values. And you know what? You probably didn't even know we had all these players loaned out. Moving on to the next player, Zach Medley. Zach Medley, I think his contract is running out soon, and he might actually not. Arsenal might not renew his contract actually because his contract is running down soon. So he was brought on the 29th minute of this game where Killmonger lost 1-0 to Aberdeen. And you know what? I honestly don't know what happened to him. He actually got some game time under Unai Emery. He never got any game time under Arteta. And you know what? It just as fast as he thought he could rise, it looks like he could be moving on. Now, moving on to another guy who barely got any chances, Ben Sheaf. Ben Sheaf came on in the 73rd minute of Coventry's 2-0 win versus Brentford in the Championship. This is a man playing the Championship. You know what? Most likely he will stay with Coventry City if they want to keep him, or if another team wants to buy him. But it does not look like Arsenal is going to give him any chances in their team. And it's another guy who most likely will end up getting moved on. Now, here is a bright spot. Here is somebody who is looking good, doing good things. Matt Smith started and played 56 minutes as Charlton Athletic drew 1-1. And you know what? He played very well. He looked good. He looked good in that start. And you know what? In 56 minutes, he did his job. And as of right now, we'll see what Matt Smith can do. He's another one of those midfielders that we have high hopes for. Hopefully, he can do well in the midfield in the future, and he can come into our team and actually offer us something in the Arsenal team in the future. Hopefully, as of right now, we don't know what he could do. He's still a young player. And these loans should give him enough experience, and maybe he can come back and pull an Emil Smith-Rowe. I know he's not highly as touted as Emil Smith-Rowe, but just seeing him play sometimes in these lower divisions, you can tell that it's a little bit too tough for him because he's physically not there yet as a player. That's what I would say. Now, moving on to Tyrese John-Jules. Remember, guys, Tyrese John-Jules was highly rated next to Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, and these guys, but we just have not seen him in an Arsenal shirt in a long, long time. He missed the Doncaster Rovers 3-3 draw due to injury. Unfortunately, he is injured. We don't know. I don't know exactly off the top of my head what type of injury it is, but when he hopefully he comes back sooner than later, and he can play to get more game time under his belt, because we need to see him playing in the men's leagues. We've seen him play in the under 23s, we've seen him play in the under 18s, and he's performed quite well. Now it's time for him to test himself and come back a better, more polished player for Arsenal. Now moving on to the next player. The next player is James Olenka. Olenka did not feature in South End United's 1-0 loss versus Bolton Wanderers because he's injured. And another situation where hopefully he can come back sooner than later, and he can get more experience, so he can come back into the team and benefit us also. And there's also another injured player, unfortunately, for Cardiff. You got Jordan Asatutu. It was not involved in Cardiff's thrashing versus Preston North End, because he was also met to injury and he was unable to play in that game also. So that's another loanee who's currently injured. Now moving on to the final loanee that we will be talking about, my favorite center back to make it through from the academy to the first team is Mark McGuinness. Mark McGuinness was unfortunately wasn't involved in this draw versus Oxford United, but Mark McGuinness has shown a lot of potential, and I would love to see him get a chance, maybe as a 4th or 5th choice center back. I generally feel like we need to move on some of these players that we have in our center back rankings. Mark McGuinness is an up-and-coming center back at this club, and I would like to keep him close eye on him, and I would like our coaching staff and the board and everybody else to hold on to this kid, because if we lose him to a lower level club, he could make his way up the pyramid quite quickly, because he has the physical abilities, the stature, and the technical ability on the ball as a player to make it at the top level. And this right now, guys, was the loan report. Do me a favor, guys, smash a like on the video if you haven't already done that. Subscribe to our channel if you're new. Do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already commented down below what you think about the loanees. Comment down below, tell us what you think about the different loanees, who they are, from Ainsley Maitland-Niles to Joe Willock, all the way to Matteo Guendouzi, down to the likes of Tyrese John-Jules. We got a lot of people on loan this season, and we're going to go through them every single time that we get a little update. I'll go through the updates with you more often, guys. As of right now, I'm out of here, people. Do me a favor, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Peace, people. What's going on, everybody? I need you guys to go check out my channel and subscribe if you're new. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that button, and hit that notification bell while you're at it, ladies and gentlemen. EGTV, you already know. And if you're on your phone, it's even easier. Press that like button for me, and you know what? Subscribe while you're still here. And big up to everybody